Welcome back. All right, so just the one game today, and it's done. So that's kind of nice, isn't it? Kind of nice to be done early in the day. Tomorrow there are four games. We have the Rangers, Toronto, Seattle against Philadelphia, Anaheim, Calgary, and St. Louis and Arizona. Teams that got to know each other really well last year. So Dallas and Ottawa today meeting for the first time in a while. Interestingly enough, coming into today, Ottawa's won four straight home games against Dallas. So this has been a hostile environment to the Dallas Stars. And they suffered through much the same thing today that they did yesterday in Boston. Slow start. It's on Rick Bowness now to try to get these guys motivated to not have these slow starts. These slow starts are really kind of doing them in, because by the time that they start doing what they have to do in order to, make things work out better for them, they're already behind the eight ball. So it's Gustafsson versus Hudobin. I am a Philip Gustafsson fan, have been for a while now. Ben versus Josh Brown was a fight within the first 2 minutes. At a minute and 54 seconds, it was a good fight. Both guys got in some pretty good shots and left the ice. That's what's supposed to happen. He had the feeling too that Ben's trying to get his teammates into this early, because again, last night against Boston, they really weren't. So it's game number 1201 as well for Ryan Suter. He played game number 1200 yesterday, so missed that because everything was happening at the same time yesterday. Norris is denied at the net as the Sens press. Goal line stand for Hudobin. The Stars needed to wake up, and on their first shot, it goes in the net. It's Raffle from Radulov and Faksa at 4:34. So you wouldn't have known at this point that Gustafsson was going to have a really good game. He hadn't made a save yet. However, it's about 50 seconds later at 5:23 that Nick Paul, he scores from Connor Brown and Zub. And yeah, I mean, Connor Brown was in for a big day. And for Nick Paul, he continues to impress me. It was a backhand shot over the glove on Hudobin. I don't think Hudobin had much chance on that one. The shots were only 3-1 in favor of Ottawa at 7 minutes, but it was a 1-1 tie at this stage. And it felt like that score was probably a bit flattering to Dallas, but again, as long as you can get things going. Logan Shaw had a net chance on a turnover. The Senators press again. Some sloppy play by Dallas, and that was the case throughout. Now, it is worth noting at this point, both teams were playing their third game in 4 nights. And you could tell, especially in that third period, the number of turnovers was pretty darn high. And that could very well be from just, physically being exhausted. The Stars last year were 3-4-4 in the second half of back-to-backs. The Senators were 0-8-2. But remember, Ottawa finished the season last year at 10-3-1 to end the season. So it's easy to forget that because they were out of the playoffs. They were way out. But Ottawa played really well in the second half of last season. Stars were stuck on one shot. They were winning the faceoffs, though. They had that going for them. They just couldn't hold on to the puck when they won the faceoff. Pavelski fires one high. Low Stars shots in the first period last night. Tonight was kind of the repeat of that. Or I guess this afternoon. Here it's this afternoon. There it would be the evening. Josh Brown fires one. Radulov blocks it. The Stars get a power play. And the power play couldn't get set up. So for Dallas, the power play a bit of an issue in this game, but that's okay. Special teams in general were an issue for Dallas in this one. Connor Brown had a shorthanded chance, and it's killed off. Stars not getting enough shots. The shots were 8-3 in favor of Ottawa with 4 minutes left. Norris took a puck in the ear. That looked painful, but he stayed in the game. Cut his ear, but he stayed in the game. Tierney had a deflection that was saved. The Senators press again. And in the last minute, the Stars get a power play. It is their second, and no shots on that second power play. So both of their power plays are in the first period. That was the end of the power plays for Dallas on the evening. And so we go to the second period, still tied at 1. And the Senators did finish that kill to start the second period. Stars get chances after it's done. So this is where you can tell when it's kind of in a team's head, is when during the power play they're not getting shots, they're not setting up, but as soon as it's 5-on-5 again, they start generating opportunities. That's how you can tell that it may be partly psychological. Hudobin saves a tipped shot, no rebound allowed there. Batherson nearly buries one. The Stars press at 5 minutes. Foxa had a shot that was saved. Parker Kelly had one the other way that was saved as well. Ben and Radulov exchanged the puck. Ben to Radulov. Gustafsson absolutely denies Radulov there. Senators then get a 4-minute power play. And a minute and 57 seconds into that 4-minute power play, Chris Tierney scores. He got off to a fast start last year, fast start this year as well. Pinto and Connor Brown with the assists at 9:21, so it makes it 2-1 for the Senators, their first lead of the game. Good setup on the remaining power play. There was a shorthanded chance for Sekera, and it was killed off with no actual shots getting to the net. The interesting thing is they score in the first 2 minutes, didn't score in the second 2 minutes, and yet I thought the second 2 minutes they were kind of better than they were in the first 2 minutes. But hey, Senators press with 8 minutes left. Gustafsson saves a Handley shot. Heiskanen had a chance that was stopped. Stars getting shots. Gustafsson looking pretty good. And this is the thing. When you start slow, the goaltender at the other end of the ice can get comfortable. They can get cold. That can happen too. But in this case, Gustafsson, team with a lead now, a little bit of confidence, maybe a little bit of swagger in the team, seeing they've got some, they've got that cushion, they've got that lead. So yeah, Gustafsson was playing pretty well. Good game for Pinto and for the young Ottawa Senators in general. This is coming together very, very nicely. Pierre Dorian's very happy right now. Since Tierney gets that goal, however, the next 7 shots were for Dallas. Hudobin hands one off to Tyler Ennis. That's the wrong team, so you don't want to be doing that. Close call, but Hudobin then robs Holden. Stützle was slashed on the wrist. There was no call there. However, on that same power play, there was a penalty called on Dallas. So technically, there could have been 2. It could have been 2 minutes of 5-on-3. So with 1:27 left, Ottawa gets the power play. It would have carried over into the third, but they scored before we got there. They scored at the 19-minute mark. It's Tierney with his second goal of the period from Sanford and Brown. For Zach Sanford, that is his first point as a member of the Ottawa Senators. So nice to see that there. And then at the horn, these teams get kind of chatty. But Ottawa's up 3-1 going into the third period. Third period, early on, Heiskanen with a giveaway. Led to a rush by Paul. Hudobin bails out Heiskanen. Heiskanen was having problems in the third period. Again, Klingberg's out. This is the third game in 4 days for Dallas. It is possible Heiskanen just gassed at this point, but just noticed some things in the third period, not very Heiskanen-like. So the Senators pressed. They were controlling most of the early play. That would change. Pavelski had a one-timer that was saved. Sagan had a shot that was as well. Nick Paul, pretty impressive yet again throughout this game, getting the goal in the first period and pretty good throughout. Heiskanen fighting it in the third. There was a play where they passed it to him at the point and it just went right by him. So it's just one of those things where he seemed to be fighting it. Batherson had a shot that was saved. The Senators working at killing the clock. But what happens here that's strange is, so the Stars are ahead in the shots. They were, at this point, ahead in the shot attempts as well. But Ottawa wasn't hitting the net very well. So the shots are 30-26 for the Stars at that point. The shot attempts were, I believe, 55-50 for the Stars. They put it up on the board. I know the Stars were ahead. I think it was 55-50 at that point. It would have gone up before the end of the game. But it just showed that Dallas does start to get those opportunities. They do start to get what you're looking for from this team, but they're behind 3-1. So this is a problem. However, Pavelski makes it 3-2. He scores from Faksa and Sekera at 14-17. Good news for Dallas fans. Radek Faksa is back to almost 100%. He says 90%. 5 Senators were in the area of that goal when Pavelski scored it. And just, I noticed in the third period, to start off, there was good positioning by Ottawa. But as the period went along, you were seeing more times where all 5 Sens were in a very similar spot. And you want to see them a little bit more spread out defensively just because you're leaving players open when you're all right around the puck like that. Stützle with a 2-on-1, he was denied. It was a game saver by Hudobin there. If that goes in, then there wouldn't have been any tension in the final few minutes at all. Heiskanen falls down. The Senators get the puck on that one. And the Stars were starting to look more organized than the Senators, so it kind of flips the script there, where the Senators look pretty good to start the period. As it goes along, the experienced Dallas Stars start to show that that ability to sort of control the game, right? Hintz rolled one wide at that stage as well. Senators then tried to prevent the goalie pull. They did pretty well. It looked like Dallas started trying to pull Hudobin around the 2-minute mark, and it was 1:15 that was left in the game when they finally got Hudobin out. Dallas calls a timeout with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Josh Brown then blocked a pretty good chance for Tyler Sagan, and the Senators hold on. So they win 3-2. Their record goes to 2-1 on the season. For Dallas, they dropped to 1-2. The offense, they came into this game with 4 goals in their first 2 games. Now they have 6 goals in their first 3 games. And it is an issue. I mean, the offense is definitely an issue. You don't see Ben on the board here. You don't see Sagan on the board here. Radulov with the 1 assist, and your goal scorers are Raffl and Pavelski. So Pavelski off to a good start, but some of the other guys that you'd like to see on the board if you're a Dallas fan aren't up there. And for Ottawa, again, a lot of young kids in this lineup, and they're winning. The shots in this one were 10-4 Ottawa in the first, 17-12 Dallas in the second, and 13-5 Dallas in the third. So Ottawa might have been guilty of sitting back a little too much in that third period. Final shots 34-27 for Dallas. Power plays, Dallas 0 for 2. Ottawa 2 for 3. Impressive. Remember, it was only 2 years ago that I was always talking about how horrible Ottawa's power play was. It was just the worst, and that is no longer the case. Hits were 36-30 for Dallas, so they outshoot, outchance, and outhit Ottawa. The only place they don't get the lead is in the score. Hudobin saves 24 out of 27 for Dallas. Gustafsson saves 32 out of 34. The 3 stars in this game, so I haven't done the 3 stars, I'm doing the 3 stars in this because that was shown on TSN at the end. Connor Brown, who recorded his 100th assist in a 3-assist game. Raffl gets the 2nd star. He, of course, had the goal in the first period for Dallas. And Gustafsson, goaltender for Ottawa, who allowed a goal in the first shot, and then he only allowed 1 goal on the next 33. So nice to see Gustafsson doing well. You know, him and Forsberg both look good early in the season. Murray, I would guess that you can go ahead and take your time coming back because the net is pretty secure as it stands right now. Let me know your thoughts regarding this game in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.